How you doing today, Mr. Sanhan? Today we're gonna be talking about long run scales. Very beautiful day out here. And first thing to start out with is our jokes. Two pencils are at a wedding, right? And one is the groom. And the dad goes up to the groom and is like, "You look very sharp today." Haha. That's all I got. I'm outside. I had to think about it on the fly. So let's get into it. All right. So for this example, we're talking about, through the eyes of my company, Sony Music Label, and one of our artists, the baby, starts a taco stand. And he has to find something that's optimal for that. So he has two trucks, which are optimal for us to sell 200 tacos. 200 tacos per day. And at that, the ATC, right here we have our short run ATC is 50 cents per taco. Now, as you can see, what is interesting about this is he can underperform or overperform which he believes is optimal. So, because in short run, everything is fixed. So right here at 200 tacos, let's say he underperforms. Then it goes up here, and then the average cost then goes up to 70 cents. And then if he overperforms with only two trucks, he's not able to, he has issues because that he need like 3 trucks for that to be optimal for 300 tacos. So at that, he has 80 cents per taco. This is the cost per taco right here. Now, you have right here, so all this is in the short run, but in the long run, everything is a variable. Because in the short run, you have a fixed cost. You gotta have something that's fixed. And then for this variable, the fixed cost is the trucks. So let's say, in the long run, he gets, let's say, 1 truck because he's only selling 1 truck, like 100 tacos per day. And now that becomes the optimal point to sell at. So he now sells one of his trucks over the long run, and this becomes his new short-term ATC. And at this point, his tacos are 60 cents compared to the 70 cents they were when he had 2 tacos. Now, if he underperforms, it can go all the way up to here, or it can go all the way up to here if he overperforms. Now, let's say he's overperforming from the original one, and you go right here, and this is for 3 tacos right here. 3 tacos. And the optimal point is 300. So then he is able to get 3 tacos, and now his optimal price for like 300 is 60 cents. You know what I'm saying? Then he goes here and here. And now you see how he's able to move. That's only in the long term when everything is a variable. And see right here, when connected all together, that becomes your long run curve. And as you can see, the long run curve is made up of short average total cost curves. Because this season he's selling 200, so he starts with 2 trucks. He's able to go to 1, or he's able to go to 3. Now, as you can see, it curves like this. And that's because you have this economies of scale. And basically, why you have this economy of scale here is because you get more money, you're able to get better machinery, workers and all that kind of stuff. You're able to source better, and you get your prices low because you're able to produce all that at a lower cost. But then as you grow, you have the economies of scale. And basically all that means is such as you ran out of like workers that you can pay for, that are willing to work, you know what I'm saying? Or you have coordination issues such as that and causing your prices to go back up. And this is going to be for all companies. And then you can also have a constant return to scale, or the efficient scale. And that is more just, it looks exactly like this, but it's here, and then kind of like flat lines, and it goes up at the end. At the long run, so let's say one company has a factory, this is their factory, and it goes like this in the long run. And then as soon as they get a new factory, the curve goes back down. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you always want to be at the economies of scale, because it's going to always make another one and go like that. You're going to keep going up and down, sort of like that. And that is your long run curves. In this video, we're going to be talking about short-term costs. And I'm going to break down what all this means and how they're all related. Now, we're talking about short-term costs. We're basically talking about short-term for a company or a business. And let me get my pen out. All right, we're going to break this down simply. First, we're going to be talking about, you have three things. You have variable, fixed, and you have total cost. Now, a fixed cost is the cost that always stays the same. For an example, if we're in a pizza company, we're going to be talking about the oven. That's a fixed cost. You're going to always need that, and that cost is always going to stay the same. Variable cost is a cost that varies on how much product you sell, such as electricity, that's a big one, and raw materials, how much you need, or how much you are producing. Now, total cost is just these together, and that is total cost, which is everything together. Now that we understand that, we're going to bring it down to the graph right here. Now, if you look at this through the eyes of my company, oh, hold up. I forgot the dad joke. All right, we gotta get that humor in for that extra point. Let's see. All right, did you hear about the restaurant on the moon? Great food, no atmosphere. I know, it is hilarious. Now, let's get back to the graph. Now, first things first, you gotta understand this one is the AFC. Now, you may be wondering why it's going down. And that's because the fixed cost, as the quantity gets larger, it gets divided. So the fixed cost gets divided by the quantity, so therefore it's always going down since the quantity is increasing. Now, we get into the marginal cost. Oh, I forgot to talk about marginal cost up here. Marginal cost is just basically the cost to, it's basically the cost for one more product, if that makes sense. It's just the cost for an extra product for like the next product. Now, if you look at the marginal cost right here, as you can see, it starts by going low and then it increases. And that is due to the law of diminishing returns. That's why it goes low and then increases. Now, you also may be looking at the average total cost and seeing that it's also making a U, and the average variable cost, and see that's also doing a U. Now, what's important to understand is that these are connected to this. As this goes low, the average and the average variable costs go down. But when that increases, then this increases. How I want you to think about it is if you have an average cost of, let's say, people's weight, and it's 200, right, on an elevator. And if someone that comes 50 pounds on there gets on there, that's going to lower your average, right? Now, let's say you add a 300-pound person on there, then your average increases like it's doing here. So as the marginal goes down, this goes down. And as it goes up, then these go up. You understand that? Now, these right here is the points that were here and here. This one right here is the average variable cost minimum point, and this is the average total cost minimum point, which is basically just the lowest it can go. I know this is not drawn to scale, but please bear with me. Now, if we continue to look at this graph, you will see also something else interesting. And that is these squiggly marks. And this is another reason how, they're all connected if you look right here. Back over here, like I was telling you, the average fixed cost and the average variable cost equal the average total cost. And I know this is not drawn to scale, Mr. Tom, but just bear with me. These right here equal equal spaces, because these will equal the average total cost together. So these should be, equal space right there. Now, continuing by also, you can also answer AP questions by knowing where on the graph it is in points. Now, let me explain to you. Right here, you have, let me draw this right here so you understand. The marginal cost is 20. Now, the average total cost is 14. As you see on the graph, by just coming, as the line goes down, come across, and you can find your average total cost is here. And then you come here, where your average variable cost, and you can see that is 12. And then you can see your average fixed cost is 2. Now we're not finished, so we got to times that by the quantity to get your answer. So 2 times 5 equals 10. It means that your average fixed cost is $10, and so on. And in doing this, you find your total, and then you can separate it from, fixed, variable, and things of that nature. So that's everything on short term. I'm going to go on the long term.